My last interview at Money 2020 is Tink. And that is not an old-fashioned car from the EV world out of Norway, but it is a Swedish company which basically scared the hell of Swedish bank when they started to suck data out of it in 2012, right? What did you do?
Exactly. So what we did is that we started an personal finance management app in Sweden. So what we started to do was reverse engineer the banks that were in Sweden to get the data and present it in one single application.
They must be really happy with you.
Yeah, definitely, very happy. But
they didn't sue you.
No, they didn't sue us. And then they started to actually invest in us. So so the banks of Sweden have invested in us and really believe in what we do today.
And you are basically years and years in front of Psd2 because you can basically take the data. Let's take a look how that works in a demo. Okay, so I'm looking here at the Tink. Is that the Tink app?
Yes, this is the Tink app. But
so I have a nice dashboard here. I see what those are different banks.
Yes, there are different banks, so I can see the different banks that I'm connected to. So all the different bank accounts, everyday accounts, savings accounts, and of course the loans that I have. So this is just mock data, so this is not my data. Just
oh, that's good. Okay, and then if you want to update the information,
so if I want to update the information, I just press, and then I just press update, and then I need to authenticate with my.
And that is a separate. That's the bank ID, the famous bank ID in Sweden. And every app can use that to identify somebody.
Yeah, exactly. But I just want to pronounce that the app is not the focus for us right now. This is just a great way for us.
So this is how you started.
Well, yes, this is where we started, and
now it's go updating
that what we can do. And then we fetch the data and we can present it in a great way.
And you can also initiate payments.
Yeah, we can initiate payments, and then we do data enrichment on top of that, so I can actually see what I'm spending the money on. So I can see that for H&M it's clothes and accessories, Spotify, media, IT. And we can also see that Spotify is recurring payments, so we can see that this is recurring payment that I have each month. Yeah, so we can do a lot of smart analysis on the data.
So what all the banks did themselves, okay? Okay, Christian, so this is how I think started to work. And what do you have now? Because you have a huge database into lots of banks all over Europe, right?
Yeah, exactly. So now we're live in 10 markets across Europe. And what we do is that we are mainly focused on B2B right now. So we have one platform that provides both the aggregation that I showed you, but also payment initiation, data enrichment, and PFM. So we just partnered up with PayPal. That's going to use us when they go live in Europe.
Whoa, PayPal, not a bad thing. And that means, what does it mean? From my PayPal account, I can go to all kinds of different banks and immediately log in the right way and authenticate myself, and do a payment initiation depending on the local market?
Yeah, exactly. So they will use our technology for account aggregation, and we can take, for example, BNP Fortis. They're using us also for account aggregation in Belgium. So and then we're live with companies in Sweden that also does that aggregate investment data, so they can see all your investment data, even though you have certain investments in different banks. You can see it in one place. And it is
so instead of making your own app, you just disappear and you basically only make it possible that the banks can do that themselves.
Yeah, banks, fintechs, all the companies out there that would like to use our technology to build some great, amazing.
Are you a company which basically only works with the big, huge banks to make it possible, or do you also have clients? How many clients do you have, and how big and small can they be?
Yeah, so we have went live with our self-service platform last year. So we have over 1,500 developers that have started using our self-service. So they just sign up at our website, and they can expose and start using our APIs directly. So it's a lot of small fintechs that are starting to build amazing products on top of our technology. But we also work with the big banks, of course, but we also work with challenger banks and other interesting fintechs that would like to use our.
And how many banks do you have have you reverse engineered the API, or are you now moving slowly to Psd2?
Yeah, so we're live today with over 2,500 financial institutions across Europe. And for the Psd2 APIs, we're going to use that for checking accounts. But we will continue doing reverse engineering for getting loans, investment data, and those other data points.
Because Psd2 doesn't support savings account and investment accounts and that kind of stuff. So and then if I want to use you as a fintech, I want to use you then, for example, in the Netherlands, did you reverse engineer the Rabo and the ABN AMRO and the ING?
So we're not live in the Netherlands right now, but we're focusing on the Psd2 APIs for Netherlands.
Okay, so we have to wait there because we have this old-fashioned system with calculators. We don't, so you don't have an easy way to get into the to this stuff. What do you think of Psd2? How fast will that develop itself as a platform for first data reading and secondly payment initiation?
Yeah, I would say mainly it opens up, and that it shows the direction that the regulation moves in the way of open banking, which I think is super great. Yeah. And it opens up that it doesn't get that the banks have a monopoly on what they do. You can find new fintechs that can use the data and create amazing products. I think it's great.
Yeah, but is it already in any way mature, or will it take a couple of years before it really means something in practice?
Yeah, I think like we have started to integrate against sandbox APIs for different banks, and we are sending them information about what they should do to really comply. But I think like it's open banking has been live in the UK for 18 months. Yeah, and they're still not really compliant. So I think that let's see. The future will tell. Yeah.
So the reverse engineering part, right? The banks in Sweden were upset and then they invested in you. Yeah. But I mean, all these other banks where you do this reverse, has nobody been so upset to start suing you, or is that just normal part of business?
It's
Bang. Yeah.
I really need to leave to the airport. Can we?
Yeah, sure. Okay, that's fine.